Welcome back to another edition of Special Situations Investing with me, your host, Greg. This week I am talking about two different transactions that I completed in my Special Situations Investing. The first is I sold out of my position in AENZ or AENZA, and I also completed my transaction with ATCX or Atlas Technical Consultants. Also, at the end of the video, I am going to give just a couple of thoughts about the Verso unsolicited offer that came from Atlas Holdings LLC this last week. Check it out. Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of my YouTube channel on Special Situations Investing and my personal investing practice. As a quick disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only. Any companies that I mention in this presentation are discussed solely for illustrative purposes. Discussing such companies and the specifics about them is to help educate me and educate you about certain special situations. It is not a solicitation to purchase them. I recommend that you conduct your own research and identify why you might want to own the company yourself prior to your committing of any funds. I also recommend that you seek the services of a financial advisor that has considered your personal situation as your fiduciary. And then finally, may your education here grow your knowledge, improve your personal investing performance, and give you the confidence to take control of your future. Thanks a bunch for watching. Now on to the video. Welcome back, investing mutants. So this week I sold out of my position in AENZA, ticker symbol AENZ. This South American firm had a tender offer that looked like it was going to be pretty valuable for anyone that was interested in it. I decided to sell out because I made a mistake, and I wanted to just kind of share with you some of the thoughts that have gone through my mind on this one, and give you the total summary for what happened with this. So the past couple of weeks I've been spending time with my family. My wife and kids and I went on vacation, and we just kind of did everything we could to avoid thinking about work and thinking about anything else, and so we really enjoyed our time together. Sometimes what happens when that happens, though, is I don't always have things set up so that I can go ahead and confirm when I should participate in a tender offer or not. If you don't know, one of the things that I like to do when I'm participating in tender offers is I don't like to submit shares until the end of the trial of the tender offer period. And the reason is because if I wait until the end, sometimes I can just sell it in the regular way market and not have to wait the 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever to receive the funds from the tender offer prior to or after the transaction has gone through. And with AENZ, I know that there was already a significant amount of participation in it, and so I wasn't sure how many of my shares would actually be accepted. I was thinking it would be similar to the Enel Americas tender offer that happened about a month ago or a couple of months ago. You can check out the video, and I'll put a link in here, and you can take a look at it if you want to. But I didn't want to spend my time. I didn't want to spend my time in another non-U.S. company. I know I get kind of fickle with this type of stuff, but the reason is I just don't feel that comfortable with having my assets or my investment account invested outside of the United States for very long. And so I went ahead and sold out of the position under the guise of the original announcement saying that, you know what, they had to finish it by the 16th of this month. And then I looked at it, and after I'd already sold out all of my shares, I looked at my shareholder library, and I was like, oh, I could have, it looks like they extended the US offer to about the 3rd of August. And so technically you probably could still get into it. It continues to rise, but you could get into it and then sell out your shares by the end, by the 3rd or so. a couple of days after is usually how it is. You have to submit it in order to participate. So anyway, kind of neither here nor there. It's just an interesting thing. All in all, I'm not displeased with it. I had almost 15% of my portfolio in this position, so it was a significant amount of money that I had in it for me. And over the month, I earned a return of about 6.3%. And so 6.3% is not something that I'm going to complain about. Over a month, I left some money on the table. I screwed up. I messed up. But in my view, it's not a terrible loss. So anyway, hopefully if you are participating in this and you're doing better than me, or you got your shares accepted, then good on you. Hopefully it comes through in the next couple of weeks or the next month, and you get a good return on it. And if you do, I'm really glad, because I always like it when my subscribers do better than I do on a position, because it means that I'm giving you valuable content. So always trying to do that. If you like that type of stuff, please hit the like button. And anyway, let's move on to the next one. The next one was Atlas Technical Consultants. So Atlas Technical Consultants, I went ahead and participated in this one back when they had their warrant exchange, and they were exchanging warrants for regular shares, very similar to the shift warrant exchange. And I went ahead and saved a couple of shares at the end. I had a couple hundred shares that I just kind of hung on to because I wanted to see where it might go. I personally think that Atlas Technical Consultants should be worth somewhere around the $18, $19 a share range. Right now it's at $9 a share, or about that. I went ahead and sold out of it because it's such a small, it represented such a small portion of my overall portfolio at the time that I sold out. It represented less than 3%. That I just, sometimes what happens is I don't have a big enough position in something, and I just get uncomfortable because it causes me extra work in order to maintain my activity on it. And when you're doing that, it's not worth your time, especially when there's other opportunities that might be better. Atlas Technical Consultants, it looks like the first year, from what I was observing, it looks like that it's not a bad company. You know, they have a return on capital of about 35%, or at least from this first year, that's what they had. And that's a decent return on capital. That's something that I'm pretty sure will do well over time for anyone that holds it long term. It just didn't fit my investing practice at the time. Now, that doesn't mean that I may not purchase again. I might go back in and buy Atlas ATCX at, if it goes below $8 a share, I think it's a no-brainer to go ahead and load up on it, and then wait it out until it actually meets that full valuation. But I really think that the full valuation is somewhere in that $18, $19 range, per share range, and anyone who holds on to it, I think you'll do just fine. Basically, the position that I had there was all cream on top of what I had already put in, and so it turned out to provide me a return of about 50%. The actual calculated amount that I have in Atlas was 48.7%. So anyway, pretty good return over about a 7-month period, and I can't complain about that. But I'll put the money into some other things that I think will do just as well over the next couple of years, or even better. So anyway, finally, let's talk a little bit about Verso. So Verso received an unsolicited offer, I think it was on the 14th, or at least that's the date that I was reading the filing, I think, for the company for $20 per share. Now, this came from Atlas Holdings LLC, don't confuse that with Atlas Technical Consultants. This is a totally different company, but I went ahead and just looked at it. whenever I see something like that, I like to go back and double check my valuation on the company. And I looked at Verso previously when I went ahead and invested in it, and I thought that it was kind of fairly valued when they were offering $18 a share for it during the tender offer. I went ahead and recalculated that. It looks like 1873 is what I came up with this time, and just looking at that, $20 a share, it's not a bad price for it. If 2020 was not such a bad time for Verso, it probably would have done. It probably could have been even better. I could see the company, getting up into the 20s, the mid 20s, low 30s in the next 3 to 5 years. And so whoever's buying it, they obviously know what they're doing. These Atlas Holdings. I didn't spend very much time digging into them as a company, but they're willing to take the whole thing private, and that's that's a pretty good price. So whoever this is, in my view, they're making a pretty good deal. Who knows if people will tender their shares for it, or if they'll demand a higher price. If they do demand a higher price, it may be a good gig to hold on to. At the current price versus the offer price, I don't know if it's really worth that much, and the valuation is just about where I expect it to be. And so, it's, to me, it's good enough, and I think I'm going to move on from this one. But Jelani Taters, he was the one that recommended I take a look at it, and I appreciate you letting me know about that. And anyway, guys, I hope your investing goes well, and next week I'm planning on talking a little bit about some post-bankruptcy transactions, and this is something that happens a little bit less often, and you have to kind of change your perspective from going tender offer to, am I going to buy something and hold it for 3 to 5 years? So anyway, check it out next week. I'll be talking about post-bankruptcy transactions.